So this is my Howa Mini in 6mm arc. It is just under 3 feet suppressed and it weighs just a little bit over 5 pounds. I want to tell you about it. So I'm Jackson. I do a lot of hunting here in the Southeast, whether that's for bear, whitetail deer, or hogs. Now, one thing about the Southeast, at least where I am, is our public land tends to be pretty mountainous. So we've got a lot of rhododendron, a lot of mountain laurel, and a lot of deadfall as well. Now, that makes for really fun and really interesting hunting situations, but it's not very conducive for using a long rifle or taking long shots. Now, if you've been following my channel at all, last year I ended up building a 16-inch Howa Mini in 6.5 Grendel. That was a fun gun, but once I added a suppressor onto the end, it just got a little long and unwieldy and just didn't balance how I wanted it to. The issue is, even with that 16-inch barrel, once you add a 6.5-inch suppressor to it, you're at a 22-inch barrel. The other issue with a suppressor is the balance. So even when you've got a short barrel like that 16-inch barrel 6.5 Grendel I was using last year, as I added that suppressor on, the balance just gets thrown off a little bit. So even though that gun handled fantastically without a suppressor, once I added on the suppressor, it just didn't really feel like I wanted it to. I do pretty much exclusively hunt with a suppressor, and that's mostly for my own hearing. My ears already ring, I'm 27, and I really just don't want to not be able to hear my grandkids when I get old. For me, a suppressor is a non-option. That's gonna be on my gun no matter what. It was really a matter of fixing the rest of the system around this suppressor, but I still wanted to preserve all the things that I loved about a Howa Mini. I wanted something short and compact, extremely lightweight, handy and nimble for the mountains. And by cutting this barrel down, it solved all those issues. So for this build, I ended up switching to a 6mm arc. My rifle that I shot last year was a Howa Mini with a 16-inch barrel in a 6.5 Grendel. I did switch to the 6mm arc for a couple of reasons. Number one was velocity. Especially out of this short barrel, I wanted to maximize the velocity I was getting. And with that 108 ELDM with Hornady factory ammo, I should be getting somewhere around 2,400 feet per second out of this 11-inch barrel. Now, 2,400 feet per second may not sound all that fast, but when you combine that with the BC of that 108 ELDM, it's still well above expansion threshold out to 400 yards. I'm not gonna be shooting anywhere close to 400 yards, so that really doesn't even matter to me. Most of my shots are within 100 yards, maybe even 50 yards, and I will never stretch this out past 200 yards. That 6.5 Grendel, on the other hand, would have been fine as well, and it's really just splitting hairs, but I wanted to cut something else down so I could still have that 6.5 Grendel as a full-size rifle for going out of state. With that Grendel, you're giving up a high BC bullet. Most of your bullets in a 6.5 Grendel, at least factory offerings, are going to be a 123 grain bullet versus the 108 in the ELDM. So you're really only giving up about 15 grains, but you're getting much better BC out at longer distances. Now that 108 ELDM is a frangible bullet, meaning that as long as it's over that 800 feet per second threshold, when it enters tissue, it's going to fragment and cause a lot of tissue damage. They're very lethal bullets. There's plenty of good evidence out there on the lethality of that bullet, so I have no qualms. The other really awesome thing about this length with the suppressor is not only is it incredibly nimble and very, very handy, but when I want to pull off this suppressor, it makes this gun even smaller. So without this suppressor on here, the total length of this rifle is under 30 inches. Now I've got a 25-inch frame pack here in my Exo Mountain Gear pack, so this gun is only gonna stick up 5 inches past the top of my pack when I'm loading out deer or doing a heavy pack out. Because of all the low-hanging brush we have here, being able to sneak up under stuff is so important. Having a 30-inch overall length makes it incredibly handy to put in the pack and to carry. Now, as far as weight on everything goes, this gun with the suppressor is at 5 pounds, 6 ounces, or 85.9 ounces total. Without the suppressor, the rifle, as you see it here, is 4 pounds and 11 ounces. Now, of course, we're fixing to break down all these parts, go over weights, modifications, and everything that I did to this gun. So that's kind of my intro to this rifle. If you've got any questions about it, please let me know. And as always, if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel as well. I really appreciate that. Let's hop into the nitty gritty. Now, I do want to say this may be a little bit jumbled. I've been building this gun for about the last 8 months since deer season ended last year. So I've taken some clips along the way of modifications and things that I've done to it. So you may see a little bit of everything kind of as we go through it. But let's start from the back, work our way to the front, and we'll talk about everything. So the first thing here is the stock. This is a Howa Mini stock made by Stockys. This is their lightweight sporter. Now, when I got this, I think it was advertised around 16 ounces. Mine ended up coming in a little bit heavier. It was around 18 ounces. That being said, with this stock, as you see it here, I'm right around that 16-inch threshold again. So what I've done here is I took off the factory recoil pad. In my last video, you'll see that I put a 6mm pad on here. I've since upgraded to a little bit thicker pad back here in the back. That just gives me a little bit more recoil absorption, a little more length of pull, and just a little bit more stability to help with recoil dispersion. The other notable change you're gonna notice here from my video last year is I did go ahead and paint the stock. I just sanded it down real well, cleaned it with some denatured alcohol, and applied a sponge paint job. Now this is just done with Rust-Oleum camouflage paint, using a sponge, just kind of dabbing it on there. I think it came out really great. It just makes the gun look a little cooler, a little more personalized. Up here on the front of the stock, I went in and opened up that barrel channel. Now that's for two reasons. One, I do think the barrel channel may have been contacting my barrel slightly, which, especially at longer distances, can impede your accuracy significantly. But the other reason I wanted to open up this barrel channel was to help with clearing debris. So it's not uncommon, at least around here at all, to get pine straw, leaves, small sticks, whatever, inside that barrel channel. And when you've got a very narrow barrel channel that barely gives a gap around that barrel, it's hard to clear anything. With this extremely widened channel, it gives me plenty of room to get in there and pull out any kind of debris that may get in there. Now, what I also did up here was actually go in and drill some lightning holes as well. In all honesty, that made a very insignificant difference in the overall weight of this stock, but I did want to just mention that as well. The last thing I did was actually to pull out my sling swivels on both the front and back. But as you can see, I've actually ended up adding back my front sling swivel. The reason for that was, even though I mostly hand carry this gun, when I was hunting out of a saddle or tree stand or anything like that, I needed a way to be able to hang the gun as well as to pull it up behind me. So I did end up just adding a small piece of cordage here as well. As far as the bottom metal here goes, I'm using a Jefferson Outdoors blind bottom metal. This holds 3 rounds. If you push the rounds down, you can load a 4th one into your chamber. So I can hold 4 rounds as I'm hunting. Of course, if for some reason I needed additional follow-up shots, I can always just hand feed them in. The thing that I really liked about this blind bottom metal is that it's very lightweight, it's flush to the gun, so it's extremely comfortable to carry, and I don't have to worry about ever accidentally bumping a tree or bumping my hand against it and dumping my magazine. This Jefferson Outdoors blind bottom magazine comes in at a scant 3 ounces. I am just using the factory action screws. Those action screws, between the two of them, come in at 0.5 ounces. Now, I've considered switching to a titanium action screw, but I just don't know that it's worth the hassle. So up top here, I have got a set of Talley lightweight rings. Now, I chose these for 2 reasons. One, they're one of the lightest options, but 2, they do give me a little bit of room here to reach my hand between the action and the scope. And that's really important for this blind bottom magazine. Makes it significantly easier to load in as well as to unload by hand. These Talley lightweights come in at 1.8 ounces between the two of them. And then resting inside of them, I have a Leupold FX. So that's a fixed power 2.5 scope. I really like this scope. So it's a 2.5 power with a 20mm objective lens. Being a fixed power is it has no fiddle factor, so it's always set right at 2.5. It also has great light transmission, even with a small objective. Because it's fixed, there's not as much light loss, and because it's a fairly low power, there's not much light loss either. I can hunt all the way from dawn to dusk with this scope and have never had any issues. This Leupold FX 2.5 comes in at 6.5 ounces as well, which is extremely lightweight. I played with some other ideas as far as adding a Picatinny and a red dot or a micro prism, and even those options weren't as light as this small Leupold scope. Now, as you'll see on the scope here too, I do have some vet wrap. That's just to add a little bit of added protection on my scope to keep it from getting scratched, bent, dented, knocked off of zero, anything like that. Now, the very last part of this gun, and really the part that everything revolves around, is this suppressor. Now, this is an AB Raptor 8. It's not the lightest suppressor on the market. It's definitely not the heaviest. It comes in at about 10.5 ounces and 6.5 inches long. Now, I picked this one because it's very versatile for a variety of firearms, and it does a fantastic job with sound suppression, even out of this 10-inch barrel. A 6mm ARC is not a particularly hot cartridge, but out of a 10-inch barrel, everything's loud. This suppressor brings this rifle's report down to the sound of about a .22 Magnum, or maybe even a little less. Granted, it's very subjective and hard to tell, but to my ears, that's kind of what it sounds like. It's still definitely not something I'd be wanting to shoot without hearing protection for days and days on end at rapid fire, but for 1 or 2 shots on a hunting trip, it's significantly better than shooting an unsuppressed rifle. All right, and last thing here is the meat and potatoes of the build, my action. So again, this is a Howa Mini 1500 action in 6mm arc. This is a factory action with the sporter barrel. Aside from cutting down the barrel, there have been no other modifications to this action. I considered getting it slabbed or trimmed up or doing some other things to cut weight, but just decided it wasn't worth it. I also left the bolt unfluted just because that helps to prevent anything from getting into the action, like bits of leaves or debris or whatever. The one thing that I did do is actually come in here on the bolt handle and just take a Dremel and round out that edge a little bit. That just makes it a little bit more comfortable in the hand, keeps it from being quite so sharp. So this barrel's cut right at about 11 inches to the bolt. I think externally it's somewhere around 10 1/4 inches or so. What I love about this is it just clears the end of the stock, so it keeps it as short and minimal as possible, but it still gives me plenty of velocity. Because of that shortened barrel, it also balances extremely well in the hand. I really couldn't imagine this gun balancing any better. One thing I want to note as well though is because this gun is so light, balance point is not quite as important. You can grab it way out here and it's totally comfortable. You can grab it way back here and it's totally comfortable because you're really not having to counterbalance much weight no matter where you're holding this gun. So now the elephant in the room here is, yes, I did SBR this rifle. I did that to be able to get a full stock with a short barrel so that the suppressor would balance better and just be handier. That's gonna turn some guys off, but for me, as long as I'm staying in state, I thought it was a worthwhile trade-off, and it really just makes this gun so much lighter and handier. Even with the barrel cut, I only lost 5.7 ounces over the 6.5 Grendel with a 16-inch barrel, but that really doesn't tell the whole story. Just taking that additional 6 inches or so of length off the end makes the gun balance significantly better. It makes it much handier, and honestly just makes it a lot more fun. It's very hard to quantify balance and handiness, but just look at the difference between a picture of this gun here, and then I'm going to link what it looked like before with the suppressor, and you'll see what I mean by having that heavy weight pushed out further from the stock. So anyway, guys, that is my Howa Mini 6mm arc SBR. It's got an 11-inch barrel, AB Raptor 8, Leupold FX 2.5, Talley lightweight rings, Stockys sporter stock, Jefferson Outdoors blind bottom metal, and a replaced recoil pad. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let me know.